where the treats at.
Is this the passing of the torch, right? Is this what this signifies?
It comes down to that front office and what they feel is most important.
The champ is here. We've touched down from a higher plane. Why you landed here?
We always look forward to that week because it was always intense.
You know that we ain't coming back. We about to.
The man, the myth, the legend, Dante Hall. My favorite player growing up was Dante Hall. I love you guys in the show, but Dante was my guy.
Get to dashing because you done on the warfare.
This episode of Chief Concerns is brought to you by BetOnline.AG. If you're into sports betting, BetOnline is where you should go to win money today. Whether it's live bets during games or futures for who you think will win the championship, BetOnline has all the latest odds, news, and information for all your online betting needs. Visit the website today or use your mobile device to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. So before the next big game, head on over to BetOnline and start playing today. BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts. Hey, guys. Welcome to another episode of Chief Concerns. We had our own little bye week last week, but that was, we were getting ready for training camp. So we had to take some time off to get ready for training camp. I'm here with our former tight end, Jason Dunn, and Eric is at a little Hall of Fame game party tonight, watching the Steelers and Cowboys. But tonight we got our resident tight end, Jason Dunn. So we're going to get into some of the first week of training camp, but before that, we'll check in with Jason. How have you been, buddy?
We're doing well, man. I'm trying to get my bearings coming from the trip, my little journey, and much needed rest and vacation. Had a chance to go down and spend some time with my family. And if y'all had a chance to check out the last episode that we did it, and a couple of my brothers on there and a brother-in-law, so we had a lot of fun down that way, and really enjoyed each other. Enjoyed the beach, the sand, man. It was just a glorious trip and exhilarating. So yeah, other than that, man, I've been good. Like I said, it's just, sometimes when you come back from vacation, you almost need like 2 days from the vacation, just to get yourself back. So that's what it's been, just getting those bearings back in, my brother. But other than that, man, I'm doing well.
It's good, man. Have you got a chance to watch any of the Olympics, or you watch the NBA draft, any of that stuff?
I didn't watch the NBA draft. Watched the Olympics. I'm always, I'm a late night guy anyway. Yeah. So I always try to go through and check out all the things going on with the Olympics. And I downloaded the app. I've done everything. Look, that's one thing I really, really enjoy. I enjoy the Olympics. I love the competition. People just getting out there, man, competing, giving it their all. What they say, man, agony of defeat, man, the glory of the gold. You just see it. You see people just going for it all and just seeing the smile on their faces. And it's good to kind of, seeing others, really get into, the wins, right? And just feeling it and what all they've been through. You just see the look on their face, the amount of time they put in the effort, and the strength and the power and perseverance. So I've had some favorites, man, with some ones winning it, not just from the United States, from other countries too, because I'm just like, oh man, it's first gold that, maybe Bahrain or something might have had. And I'm just like, oh wow, that's phenomenal. So I just love competition in itself, man. But I do love the Olympics. Great time.
Yeah, it's also cool to see the other cultures. Like my background in Cuba and Iran, I've never been to either one of those countries, but I root for every time I see a Cuban or Iran up there. I'm like, I'm rooting for them in this one. And like the Cubans had like this amazing, like the stories here, because we don't watch these Greco-Roman or certain things you don't watch all year long. So there's one story about the guy who's won the last 4 Summer Olympics gold in like the heavyweights of Greco-Roman. He was a Cuban guy, which you don't necessarily think Cuba in wrestling. You think baseball and boxing for Cuba.
Right.
And the guy's like awesome. And then the cool thing was for the Iran aspect, Iran got eliminated early in the basketball stuff, because Iran's more based in the wrestling is usually their number one thing for Iran. But they got eliminated from basketball. But the cool thing was, it's you think politics wise, Iran doesn't get along with the U.S. and all that stuff. But when it comes to the Olympics, you forget all that, because it's all about the sport. And that's the cool thing about it. And one of the Iranian basketball players, after they lost to U.S., took a picture with Damian Lillard, like cheesing in the middle of the court and stuff. And it's just, that's the kind of, it's kind of wholesome and just makes you feel good. That's the cool thing about the Olympics. I love that so much.
but I think you get to the point of just, realizing how personable, how much people are just people. Humans are just humans, man. And we always want, success for, other people as well, in different cultures, just having respect for it. And sometimes we get into like the politics and stuff, man, that is the stuff that is ridiculous to me, because it doesn't have to be a way, use diplomacy, let's have a conversation sitting down and doing those things. But kind of talking about basketball, man, I've been, that's what's been, getting me in the dumps and watching a basketball team, man. I don't know, man, these dudes, thank God for KD. KD is just like, listen, I'm not playing around. Somebody needs to step up and start doing some things. And I'm glad he's starting to start putting a dagger in people's hearts, man, because, it looked a little bleak at the very beginning, man.
And I'll say, I'm a Sixers fan. I'm a little homer when it comes to that. If Australia had kept Matisse Thybulle in the game last night during that 9-minute run where they couldn't score and they couldn't stop US, I think Australia would have won that game. They had no reason putting Dellavedova in and letting Matisse Thybulle, a freaking defensive dynamo, being on the bench. I don't understand that at all. Right.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's and sometimes you question like, what the coach and other people are doing, what their strategies may be. But yeah, Thybulle, is a great guy, from UK, come through, doing some things. It was good to see him out there getting his work in. But yeah, man, he's a young guy, man. That's got a lot of talent. But man, like I said, man, sometimes just seeing some of the games, and then you start seeing like United States having to come back from I'm like, what? Why are we struggling? There's no reason for this whatsoever. I think the roster that Wesleyman just put together, the Lakers put together, should be able to go to the Olympics and start winning.
No, man, yeah, I don't want to talk about it. Every time I look and see whoever's getting cut, like an hour later, Los Angeles Lakers have signed them for a 1-year deal. I'm like, what the heck? Like, I mean, hey, LeBron came out about him. I was saying those guys are old. I mean, a lot of those guys are collectively, 32 to 35 range. I think the highest average age in the league. LeBron said, "We'll see. Everyone's doubting us. You'll see it during the year." So I'm curious to see how LeBron and Westbrook work. That's going to be a very interesting dynamic.
Yeah, I think they'll get it done, man. I'm a LeBron fan, so I want to see LeBron get at least 2 more, and with what he's put together, I think they have like 6 guys over 35 years old. So man, look, last about 2 or 3 years. That's all you have to do.
Yeah,
I think they'll be all right. So. Yeah, but we'll talk about football, man, because look at Buddy Hale. He's supposed to get out there. I don't know. Lakers are looking really excited right now. So
yeah. Well, you guys were supposed to get Danny Green. That was the rumor, and then we ended up re-signing him. So I was happy about that. I didn't want him going back to LA.
Yeah, be great.
And that's the thing with the whole with the older guys. With every sport, we're always talking about this year. It's like it's this year. All he needs to win one this year, and they got their job done. And next year they can, sign guys who are maybe 31 or 30, 30, like a year younger. So I mean, it's all. I mean, that's why it's the beauty about those 1-year deals. Like they're only contingent on this year. It doesn't matter past that. So, and LeBron's got his windows is closing. So like these 1 years are a big deal for him. So I get it.
Yeah.
So now training camp. We're getting close to the season. I'm so excited. I got my Jason Dunn hat on today. I
like it. I like the yellow, man. I'm going to have to rock that. I'm going to have to find that, man. You got to tell me where you got that one at.
It's like the Herm Edwards hat. I don't think he ever wore the yellow one, but he was a big fan of wearing the red one with the without the arrowhead on the KC. I always remember I was like, I don't want a hat like that. But there's a lot to discuss with it. About a week into training camp, the second or third day with pads on. So we're gonna get right into it. Chief concern number 1. What are your initial takeaways from this first week of training camp, JD?
My initial takeaway from what I've heard and what I've seen, I see there's some good competition out there for which we know was going to be great as far as dealing with like the wide receivers. Offensive line, just great competition. You start looking at, some of these soft tissue injuries, some of these little nagging things going on. To me, man, my initial thing is, man, it's just camp. This is what camp is like the first week, first 1 or 2 weeks. Everybody's just excited to get talking about football all again, right? Everywhere I go, everybody's like, man, I'm just glad football's starting. My son he's playing, and so now it's up in the air, man. It's in the grass. Everybody's got that feeling. And so everybody's excited for that first week to just talk about every single thing. And for players, camp is boring. It is. It's monotonous. This is monotonous, man. You're doing the same thing over and over again. You try to keep it exciting, right? I mean, you're with the guys, you eat with them, and, you're trying to entertain yourself doing off the field things. But, every single day just coming in, it's just like the same Groundhog Day. And it start weighing on you probably about week 2 or 3. You're like, oh, man, like when we're going to start, getting to play other people. We start hitting somebody else. And so that's my first takeaway of just the initial thing of the first week of camp is always going to have the fireworks and excitement about guys, who's ready, who's getting hurt, what is this going to mean, for the start of the season. So, but no, I've seen just a lot of competition out there, and I've got some good things coming out of the camp, man. Some really good things.
Yeah, and I think something that you've been talking about since we, started the off-season type shows back in February, I guess, the receivers. And the cool thing, which I've noticed, it's honestly like every day. Obviously, Tyreek Hill's been. I'll look, and obviously he's making plays with Tyreek Hill. Mahomes is, but then the number 2 guy is kind of like interchange. I'm seeing Demarcus Robinson's name. I'm hearing Mecole Hardman. I'm hearing Marcus Kemp, and even Garrett Dieter has gotten in there and playing. They got some playing time. Obviously that's something you've been harping on, that you said we did not need another receiver, and now it's looking like the offense is kind of smooth, and we just got an interchangeable 2 and 3 in there every time.
Man, I told you. That's exactly how it was going to be. I mean, you're just looking for guys, who when you have that number 1 and number 2, just because what the Chiefs do offensively, you can change pieces, you can put different parts in, and and say, look, this is what we need for you to do out of here. And so you got those guys, right? You got Pringle, Hardman, Powell, who's the one guy that you said, like, just shows up. And look, at this moment in camp, the very first week, you're trying to impress the coaches. You're sitting over there looking. If you're that guy that's on the bubble, maybe 5th or 6th receiver, you're sitting there saying, what can I do to earn a spot on the roster? I need to do everything I can. Man, the ball is near me. I need to dive for it. I need to catch it. I need to make absolutely wonderful plays, just to be impressive, for the coaches. And so, the thing is that buzz will happen with not just the coaches, but also the fans. And, fans see it, they're oohing and on, great, this guy's showing up for us. Yeah, so that's what guys are trying to do, man. Look, there's guys that's going home every single night who are studying the playbook, saying, look, I got this one shot to make it, and I've got to be able to make it right now. If I don't do it right now, maybe another team picks me up, but I got to get something on tape. I got to get something on film, but I got to be impressive every single day. And then, of course, you got guys, Tyreek Hill he's going to bed, sleeping soundly at night. He got some posturepedic and enjoying himself, and he's fine. He don't have to worry about nothing because he knows he can take a few days off and he's going to be all right. So I like that. Go ahead.
And also, there's another guy I failed to mention who got hurt today. I did not see any updates on his injury, but Antonio Callaway, who we talked about over the offseason, that was like a sneaky pickup we had at the end of last year. He was awesome with the Saints, Browns. He was good with, amazing in college, but he had off the field issues. Hoping he could clear that up and maybe even get a role in the rotating in the number 2, number 3 positions. He was having a good camp, got hurt today, so I don't know what's going on with that, but I hope and pray that he's all right. Another guy you've been a fan of since we drafted him was Noah Gray, who I don't know if you've seen it. Everyone's loving what he's doing. You got Louis Riddick tweeting about him. Everyone's loving him. So far, I mean, what do you have to say about how a 4th round pick's coming in there and just kind of like adapting right away as the number 2 guy?
Man, I've seen his ability. I've seen what he can do. He's really impressive. He's a guy that loves playing football, who doesn't mind blocking, but will take every opportunity to try to make a play. And he's sitting over it. He's playing fast. He's playing physical. So he's another guy just trying to be impressive out there. And I think he hears the buzz we know about him as well. So he's got to live up to the hype. He's got to live up to it. And so when you on a guy that's coming out and the shoes that you know who you're behind, right? You know who's in the room with you. And so you're sitting over here saying, look, I got to impress this guy as well, right? Because if I'm impressing him and he's saying, man, you're doing a good job and whatnot, and pat me on my back, man, it feels good. It feels good because he's arguably the best tight end in the NFL right now, bar none. So, if you impress him, then you're doing a good job, man. But Noah Gray, man, you could see his ability when he came out of college. You knew what he would be able to contribute to the team. And I'm just excited, man. I love seeing him. Every time I get like a little glance of a highlight from him, I'm like, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. Here we go. I see you, Gray. There you go. A3 tight ends. Let's go. Let's do it.
And the thing is, it's like, we've had since Kelce, right? That's been our like Gonzalez of this era. But like, we haven't had a number 2 tight end that like, stood out. We're like, since you really were like, oh, JD's in there. Okay. Like, you were set on that. Since you, it's been like, okay, who's this? Like, guys like Brad Cottom, Sean McGrath, just guys who never really like, who had that staying power. And I hope that, to supplement what Kelce's doing and maybe give him a break during the season. I know Gray can just come in and kind of fill that role. And hopefully we have our first like number 2 tight end since you, who actually like, can, be a factor in the offense.
Right. Well, I'm glad you say that. I appreciate you saying it. So, and I hope he'll be able to contribute. Like I said, the thing is, if they're putting packages in for him to get out there and play and display what he can do, then you know what you got in this player. And so that's really exciting. It's encouraging just to see a guy like that who's going to get a shot. And like you said, if he can supplement for what Kelce's doing out there, give him a couple of breaks, right? So everything's just not on his shoulders all the time. I mean, Kelce's still going to catch 90-something balls, 100 balls with Noah out there, but they just going to distribute all the football everywhere on the field. It's just another target, man, another weapon that you can utilize, right? A bigger guy that can do those things. So that's always good for an offense and a quarterback to find a bigger target that's going to be physical up there. So, yeah, good for him.
And you made a good point this year when we were talking about, we need another receiver. You're like, this guy, Noah Gray, can be another Kelce in the offense, so you don't really need to get another receiver. Because this guy's, we got Powell, and then we also brought him in. That could be that other receiver we want. A big body guy, athletic. So yeah, I'm sky's the limit for what his offense could look like with all these new weapons and toys we have. And on the other side of the ball, Chris Jones, who everyone's looking like he could be the next Dwight Freeney based on how he's getting to the quarterback and getting off the edge there. A little bigger than Dwight Freeney, but he's lost some weight. I think someone said he had lost 10 to 13 pounds going into this season.
Yeah, that's good.
What do you make some of the clips that we've seen? I mean, he looks like that DN spot was right. He couldn't wait to play this spot. He
does, man. He looks good. He looks slim. He looks powerful. He's a powerful guy anyway. And so him losing 13 pounds, I don't think he suffered losing any type of any strength wise. Because sometimes when guys lose weight, then strength and all that kind of leaves them too. But man, he's a powerful guy. I think, man, when kind of looking at him, and somebody made this comparison, but like Reggie White, I'm like, ooh, you saying that he can be as dominant, because he's just as strong. Reggie had unbelievable strength and athleticism, and that was his thing, man. Him being able to use his hips and push guys will do Chris well. It will go in his favor. And I think once he finds himself out there on that island even more, he's like, look, I'm just going to wear these tackles out. And so you see him, I've seen him in, some one-on-ones, just destroying guys. And I'm just pushing guys. And so, I'm also looking at the guys that he's going against, the quality guys. Like, okay, well, now is he going against number 1 or 2? Or, I want to make sure, right? Because that's how you really determine, how he's doing. But I think, man, he's fitting real well at it. That's going to be an absolute plus, especially dealing with where the defensive ends may go this year. We don't know with Frank Clark, dealing with the suspension, how many games it's going to be, if it is anything, guys getting hurt. You got guys out here who may not be producing like you think they should be. And so moving him out there to get sacks and to disrupt the passing game, it's going to be phenomenal for us. So I like it. I like Chris being out there, man. I really do. So yeah, we got a lot of muscle and meat on the inside anyway, man. We got some big boys up front. So looking to see them jokers out there, man, eating some hamburgers, hot dogs, and pork chops. I'm like, man, we got some guys, man, that's on the table. So yeah, Chris, man, slimming down is like, look, I want to be out here doing this for right now. All right. So come on, coach, put me in, Spags. Let's go.
And that's what the whole beauty was with the Jaron Reed signing, and being able to slide him out that way. You got a big plugger in the middle who can actually get cause some disruption there to allow him to go to the outside. Another takeaway this week was, due to injury, we've gotten to see what Lucas Niang looks like at the right tackle position. Mike Remmers got hurt, so Lucas Niang slides in at the right tackle. What are your takeaways? This is essentially his rookie season.
Yeah,
red shirt pretty much last year with his injury. It was injury, was it COVID? He was out for the season.
I think COVID was a COVID protocol. He opted out. I think
yeah, that's right. I think it was a mix of injury, but then he also opted out too because he was coming off an injury at TCU. But what do you make so far of him at right tackle? It's with him being in there. If you want to count him as a rookie, we'll talk about this other guy here in a second, in the next segment. But between Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith, and then Lucas Niang, that's essentially 3 rookies on the line. What do you think about what Lucas Niang, is doing? And he's going against guys like Chris Jones, so that's big practice right there.
I tell you what, man, getting him reps is just going to get him better. When I first initially seen him, and it looked like, he's coming off injury. He's been off season, hadn't really been playing. He was a little heavy. It looked like to me. Yeah. Anyway, and I know sometimes, getting to camp and just getting into shape, football shape is so important. And so as a coach, I'll be throwing it. Come on, Lucas, get in there. Come on, get in there. And I just keep throwing him in every chance you get, just wearing him down, just wearing him out. So the thing is, that will build him up. That will build up his confidence, going against these guys. So it's like, look, you work on these things right now, during summer camp. So during the season, you're ready. You already know what to see. And look, like you said, if you go against Chris Jones, and Frank Clark, these are the guys you need to see. These are guys that you need to go against. Get yourself better. So repetition with him is going to be key. And just talking about, man, all rookies starting, on the right side. I don't know how people will feel about that, but I'll tell you what, I like the guys. I like Niang. I like Trey, and Humphrey. Those guys got the ability. We know they can do it. So I don't have any problem with it, man. Look, if guys are performing and they being consistent with it, hey, shoot, if that works, shoot, I'm with it. I'm good.
Now, so our next segment here, we kind of alluded to this guy just now. So with Kyle Long's injury that he suffered, and then with Tardif coming back from being off a year, it kind of paved the way for our 6th rounder Trey Smith, who everyone at the time, Bucky Brooks had him as the 2nd best guard in the draft, but he went all the way to the 6th round because medical problems that he had in college. But this guy has been a talk. I mean, I've never seen with a team that has Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes. Look at the timeline. Everyone's talking about Trey Smith. I see more probably Trey Smith talk than I have Mahomes talk. Mm-hmm. This guy's a 6th round pick we're talking about. He's going to start probably, but based on the way he's playing, he's going to be starting for us out the gate, it sounds like. Is it too early to say that Trey Smith was to steal the draft for the Chiefs and maybe the NFL? Is
it too early? My answer is yes. It's too early to make that assessment. I mean, he ain't played the game yet. So we don't know, and sometimes, look, your determination about who you are depends on the paths and who you're going against every single day. And look, when you get into the game, it's a whole different animal to having to deal with. So yeah, man, he looks great, and just applauding for that because he's coming along. And if he's able to start, wonderful. But is it too early? Yeah, it's too early. It's too early. I can't crown you if you if you ain't never been. I can't crown you champion. You ain't did nothing to be a champion yet. So. But I think with him, he's just going to get better and get better. And so we know what his ability is. And we know we got a steal in the draft. Is he the steal of the entire draft? We're just, don't know. Yeah, it's too early, but I like what I see from him. So we can move guys.
and I guess with the whole, usually, in years past, and I think this whole year is going to be I think we're going to see, this might just guess, right? I think we're going to see a lot of guys who will go round 4 to 7 who make the team and actually make an impact on the team. Because I think this year with COVID not having the, traditional combines that we had, it kind of allowed, certain guys to kind of go under the radar, and then kind of different evaluations where certain guys like a Trey Smith, medical history, which is kind of the reason why there's red flags there. But, you take a chance on that guy in the 6th round. And this guy is not only starting because of, it's not only did he got the job because Kyle Long got hurt, but also, Tardif was there, and he took a year off, but this guy's also a rookie coming from the next level. I think Andy Reid knew what we were getting with this guy. He's like, no, I think Trey Smith's the guy for this, the right guard. And if he doesn't pan out, then we put LDT in there. But LDT's running with the 2s right now. And this guy, just like the one-on-ones I've seen with Chris Jones and Jaron Reed, he's something else. And it's early, we're going against our own guys, but I saw someone tweet the other day, it's like, I haven't been this excited to watch a guard since Brian Waters or Will Shields.
B. Waters and Shields, woo! They got to be careful, man, who they use in that conversation. B. Waters and Shields, man, they two different type of guys there, right? Yeah. So, but saying that, Trey, man, he's really fitting in there, and I think, Tardif, because he's been out for a year, Trey has been playing, and so it's like, okay, look, we could get a guy who hasn't really, he missed a little time, but he's ready to play. We could put him in. We know what we're gonna get out of it. That's the reason why we drafted him. But of course, everybody's concerns was like, the blood clots, everything, medical. But as far as his ability, no question about it whatsoever. And so I think Andy, knew that, especially signing, Long, right? Tardif is coming back, so it's like, look, I got this kid in my back pocket. So anything happens, like Kyle Long goes down, right? Tardif not quite ready, going on with the second team. Let's put this kid in. Why not? Hey, man, he's been playing. Come on, Trey, get in there. Throw him in there, right? Get him ready. And so it's not going to hurt your team, putting a guy like this in, because you got the 2 guys that's got your back, that's in the depth chart. And so, man, I will say this. It's so comforting to know that the offensive line is not something that you have to necessarily worry about. We got it covered across the board pretty much, and so that's a good place to be at, man. There's a lot of good guys out there in the O-line room, and so I think a lot of them have an ability. There's not really a whole lot of them I have a lot of doubt in, to be honest with you. I think these guys, man, are playing phenomenal, and they look like they love playing together with each other, and that's a good place for them to be in that room, man. It's just gelling. So yeah, they're doing good.
And you play, obviously we talk about with Shields and Waters. You also play with one of the best O-lines in NFL history.
Yeah.
Now, when you see, and this is one thing, we brought in Orlando Brown, we drafted Creed Humphrey really high, and we brought in Joe Thuney. But when you see that the whole right side from center on to right tackle, as of right now, it's looking like we have 3 rookies there. Is that a concern for you, even though Creed Humphrey was a high draft pick, and even though these guys are tearing it up in practice right now? Is that still a slight concern?
Concern? Not necessarily. To me, like I said, man, these guys were playing. Last year they were starting for their teams. They were high, in their conferences, and so we think about like the awards they was up, the accolades, and whatnot. I don't really have that much concern, because I see who first off who's behind them, right? I was talking about the depth chart, and so sometimes put these younger guys in, just put them in the fire, just to refine them, get them ready. Is not an issue. I don't have an issue with that. I think if the guys are on the same page, like I said, they're complimenting each other and they're learning what they have to do, then it's beautiful. And here's the greatest thing. You have veterans in the room that can help these guys out at any time. There's no question about it. And that's another thing that really gives you comfort, and just knowing you got, Kyle Long behind me talking, what I need to do. I got, Tardif who's talking, right? Blythe and all those guys. Everybody's, they're talking about these things, right? This is something I knew that, they're dealing with because you got those veteran guys in the room helping them out. But yeah, I think it's going to be good, man, for them.
Yeah, and I'm like I said, I'm loving what I've seen from Trey Smith. Creed Humphrey, you were a big fan of that draft pick, and it's looking like that's the center of the future and the right guard of the future right there between those two guys. So,
oh yeah,
young, and these guys look like they look like they're not rookies out there. Just based on what we're seeing as far as training camp and going against R1s, which is those guys are no slouches to go up against and actually look good against.
Right.
Especially with the amount we throw. It's a lot of pass blocking. Okay, so we talk about the positives and stuff, but obviously with training camp, there always comes injuries. And so far within the first week, we've been pretty lucky not to have any kind of Indianapolis Colts type injuries. We've seen what happened with Carson Wentz and Nelson over there, which I think is crazy. They both have the same exact injury and they're both going to have the same exact surgery. I'll let the Colts concerned show cover that one. But with us, the only really thing here that's concerning is Tyreek Hill. He practiced today. He was limited yesterday with knee tendinitis. Now, I'm not too familiar with knee tendinitis. I've had some tendinitis in my elbow. Baseball players tend to get that a lot in their elbows. I'm sure quarterbacks do. But what I've been reading, knee tendinitis is something that can flare up and just be a lingering, nagging injury all throughout the season. Nothing that will keep you out long term or anything, but in your experiences, have you ever dealt with a knee tendinitis, and kind of how significant of an injury is that for a guy like Tyreek Hill, who's, his whole game is predicated on speed?
Yeah. They have a phenomenal staff. And I know they'll give him the much needed rest that he needs to recover. Tendinitis is one of those things. I dealt with tendinitis. You're right. Knees, elbows. You name it. It's one of those things that can affect you. But with the rest that you get, they'll give him, he'll be fine. And look, here's the reality. And I'm gonna tell you, like my coach, Al Saunders used to tell us, we don't need you right now. We need you during the season. That's when we need you. We don't need you during training camp. We don't need you during the summer or preseason. We need you during the season. And so you know what you're gonna get out of this guy. You give him the rest that he needs. Look, we already talked about the battle in the room already, right? So let him sit back and just watch these guys battle these things out. There's no reason he needs to be. Look, let him get some reps with the first team. Give him some rest, maybe 1 or 2 days here. Let the youngest guys get in, learn all the offense that they need to, which you like you said, you'll find maybe a nice little diamond in the rough, with having Tyreek out. But who could be that other guy if Tyreek goes out? Here's the scenario. Tyreek's down for, 2 or 3 games. I don't want to put it on him, but I'm just saying he's down, right? Who's going to be the next guy stepping up? And so it's good to kind of, find those things out right there with what the guys in the room, they can do and their ability. And who's going to be the next guy that's going to come in and lead that group. But as far as like concerning with this tendinitis, he'll be fine. Like I said, it's nagging if you just constantly just stay on and don't have any rest. But look, I know Andy and all those guys, hey, sit down. Have a seat, cheetah, right? We need for you to be the tortoise today, not the cheetah. So just relax. So I don't have any issues with it as far as like thinking it's going to be something that's going to affect him during the season in itself. He'll get the rest that he deserves, for one. And the athletic staff does a tremendous job of making sure and checking up with guys to make sure that it isn't nagging or something. They always going to gauge where he's at. So I don't have any concerns whatsoever right now.
Good. Yeah. No, I wanted to ask you, I figured you guys would have some kind of connection maybe to a knee tendinitis. And reading stuff on WebMD, obviously it's always very, can be very drastic seeing some of the stuff that comes from there. But how much you should be off your foot, or like how long you're going to be out for an injury like that.
I'll say this, it's kind of funny because when you're a football person, I would say, maybe some of the physical sports, you're expected to turn around fast, right? Mm-hmm. You just get into a healing process of getting back out there on the field. And so sometimes when you look at like tendinitis, you're reading how normal people or normal life kind of goes, right? 6 to 8 weeks, you might be out to, you might need crutches and all that. You got tendinitis. Okay. Well, you know what? I tell you what. Wrap it up, get out there. How about that? Put a little ice on it, get out there. Rub some dirt on it, get out there. You know, that's football, man. That's the physical sport. So with him though, they're gonna take care of him. But I just sometimes when I read some of those things, I like how long it takes you to get back. I'm like, oh, okay, this is like for the normal Joe. This is the normal people, right? Who has like regular jobs, and you know, I get that part of it. Sure, they tell a guy, man, you got a broken finger. Oh yeah, you going out to practice tomorrow? Yeah, sprained ankle. Yeah, man, what can you do? They're gonna ask you. They're gonna find out real quick. And like I said, they're gonna make sure. They're gonna test guys. Look, the old saying goes, you can't make the club in the tub. You can't do it. If you're in a hot tub, you're getting ready, you can't make the club like that. So guys are gonna sacrifice, a little pain and these things they have to deal with, little nagging injuries. That's just part of it, man. So ain't no, hey, tendinitis, you ain't out no 8 to 6 weeks. No. You trying to be on this team? You better make it 6 to 8 hours. That's all you better do.
And like you said earlier, Tyreek's one of those guys. He's not worrying about anything at night. He's resting comfortably. So he's got the luxury that he can sit it out and kind of take it easy on his knee. So that's a beauty in itself. But one thing I just noticed, just watching the 7-on-7 stuff, the 11-on-11, kind of the game situations and stuff they've been doing, I think Tyreek Hill might have the best year of his career as far as receptions wise. Because I'm seeing him catching, corner hitches, comebacks. And it's like, he does that stuff during the season. But I think without Sammy Watkins, I think without an established number 2, I think you're going to see him doing more intermediate routes mixed in with his, his normal deep ball and stuff that he can, obviously he's going to, what he's going to do. That's his bread and butter. But I think he might have one of his best years as far as reception wise, barring he stays healthy and all that stuff. But what are your thoughts on that? I mean, this is just me just watching the 7-on-7 and 11-on-11 clips.
I mean, it could happen. I mean, but 7-on-7 is a different thing, man.
It's true.
Sometimes you run over the middle, man. You might catch a little elbow that you weren't expecting. So, I mean, everything, is either on air against 7-on-7 against the defense. He's elusive. He could just fit into windows and Patrick can get the ball to him. So I know he's, they just figure these things out. So it could definitely happen. I do think, intermediate passes and routes, they'll probably get better at it because they'll start thinking, okay, he comes over here, he's trying to take the top off the defense. He's running a 9 route, right? He's running a go route. Or he's going to do the stop and go or double move on you. Now, let's set him down in zone, set him at some of those places, let him catch a couple of footballs. And, the thing is, when he gets the ball in his hands, now to start the show. Yeah. Now we get to see. So that's it'd be good to see for him to, catch some of those intermediate passes, short passes. He's been doing it now, but I think maybe a little bit more would be good for him.
Yeah, and that's one we talked about on the show months ago. That was one of the things Mahomes wanted to get better at this year, and that's something that we talked about. Taking what the defense is giving you, and they give us a lot because they always expect the home run. So I think this year more so we're going to see more sustained drives where we are taking the instead of chunk plays, we're kind of grinding up the field and stuff, which I think could be beneficial.
I'm sure guys are challenging him out there too. Like, man, that's all you run is deep routes. That's all you use your speed. You can't run anything else. You're not physical. So he's just like, oh, okay, really? Okay. All right, let's get out and play some bully ball then. So maybe that's another good thing for, everybody just kind of razz him a little bit. Like, I mean, you don't want to get nobody, you get your hands put on you. Everybody throw you around. So maybe, he might try to, mighty up a little bit, see what Tyreek going to do.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting. And I obviously we have preseason coming up here soon, our first preseason game. So we'll probably get a series. So we probably really won't get to see, the full on new 2021 Chiefs offense. So that's fine. We'll get a week 1 of the NFL season. But so our last concern of the night, every Chief Concern episode, it's not a Chief Concern episode without some story time from you guys. I always love hearing it. I know our fans always love listening. But when you think back of your first week of training camp, what are some stories? What are kind of things that stand out? Be it the food, the arrivals. Everyone's got their special, funny arrivals. So getting to training camp. What are some things that kind of come to mind? I guess on some of those topics right there.
some of the things that come to mind. Always, man, that first week of camp is always interesting to find out the rookies who are all going to get it wrong, right? Yeah, I mean, something's going to happen. It never fails that guys haven't been in this process before. They're just walking in, man, eyes wide open, don't know what to do. Like, oh, we go over here to eat? Like, yeah, man, come on, Rook. We're gonna help you out a little bit. So it's always fun to see those guys kind of struggle a little bit, just kind of being green and dealing with that. Trying to think, man, the first week of camp, it's always interesting too, is like all the new money guys, it's like new money guys coming in with the new car, what are they gonna, ship up there to camp, who's riding what. So that's always exciting. Because guys getting signed and getting their money. So it's like, okay, what is Noah Gray going driving here? What Smith going to drive? What are these guys going to drive in here now since they got that money in their pocket? So it's always good. I'm trying to give you like an exciting camp story. I don't know, man. Some of these things I can't tell. My head, I can't talk about. It's just because they're just crazy. You're just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened. Like, it's like that. I think I can't tell you this. No, I can't say that. All right, I'll give you one. So talking about like that your rookie years, making mistakes and whatnot. Well, I ended up making a mistake my rookie year. And so me and my roommate, we end up like coming in, I think was late. And we had like the curfew where the door was shut at like 10 o'clock, like it locked. Now I'm sure the door's open, but back then, like the door shut and it locked, and you had to like, hey, coach, let me. And like, it's like one of those things. But I remember, man, I got caught coming in late. And so like in camp, at least during that time, your money would go up every week. And so, you get paid, like the first week, second week, money kind of goes up. For veterans, even more money. I think my first 2 weeks of camp, I didn't get paid nothing. Like they sent me my check. They had like zeros on it because I got fined. Oh. I learned my lesson. And I remember everybody like that first, second week, everybody getting checks. I'm like, okay, here comes my check. So I'm sitting there like this, looking at my check, I'm opening it up. 0, 0, 0. What? Oh. Wait, what's going on? And so you see, it says NFL fine on it.
Oh my gosh.
Fine. So I think my first couple of checks, I had zeros on it. I said, you know what? They could have saved that paper. Instead of writing zeros on they could have kept it at paper, writing those zeros on it like that for me. So, you always learn. I learned. I said, you know what? This ain't college anymore. It's not one of those you can just walk in and beat. Shoot. Nah, they ain't taking it. They're going to be it. So, yeah, man, it's always those things. But that was my rookie learning experience. 2 weeks of no pay. 2 weeks of no pay.
Wow. And where was Philly's training camp?
Lehigh University.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, Lehigh University. Yes. And so.
What were you guys doing out so late? Yeah, Lehigh University. There's nothing over there.
Nothing stupid, silly. Trying to find things to do in a small town. I think we stopped at the pizza to get like a Domino's pizza at the end, and before we know, it's like, come on, man, we gotta go, we gotta run. And so we like, trying to eat the pizza, drive up to and before we know, we sprint to the door, and we just knew, like, we looking at like, oh man, we only a couple, a few minutes over, ain't gonna be no big deal. And she's like, oh. And that's such a bad feeling, terrible feeling. It's like when, they walk in the halls and stuff, you got to come in and comes looking at you like, what are you doing? So it's like, oh man. All right, coach, sorry. Yeah, okay, sorry, no problem. Hey, don't worry about it.
Now, is it one of those things where like the next day of practice, like, because in Hard Knocks, you see it like, everyone's gathered up in the like an auditorium room together, and like the coach is like, oh, I had 2 guys who came back at 10-3 last night. Like, make an example out of you. What was that specific example? Were you made an example out of?
I wasn't made an example out of like at practice, but that has been done before with the guys, without a doubt. Like, look, if you think this is a game, you think this is college, you think that somehow you're not professional coming in here, we're going to teach you real quick what the rules are, how we should act when we're being up here. Especially, we were, being at a, different town, you always going to be respectful. You always represent the, the program, the shield, and, the team. But, things like that, like in-house, like guys being late. Okay. And coaches will call guys out quick. Gets real silent there. You just like, oh, shoot. Some of the stories, man, because sometimes at night, you don't know what everybody's doing. Right. So you might hear something, you're like, man, like, when did this happen? When did that go on? It's just always, whether it be a guy that's, late night with a girl trying to, girlfriend's up there, whatever. It's like, come on, man. Look, 10 o'clock is 10 o'clock. So
it was different now versus back then, where like you're in your room or whatever, especially going out to the city or going out to the town, find a place to eat. You have the GPS, it tells your ETA. So it would probably be more easier now versus back then for you guys. You guys know where the heck you were in the middle of where Lehigh University was. You guys had to use a map or whatever to get out of there.
Oh yeah, well I think we had kind of better retention back then, man. As far as maps, but you're right. You make a valid point. Where now you're looking at your phone, you try to get. I mean, it's easy to get back. We had to use sundials to find out what when it was going down. Like, we can't try to figure it out. So yeah, man. Now look, you got the Apple Watches, you got your phones, you got everything around you. There should be no reason, but guys find a way. It's regular in life. Like everybody finds a way to do something silly. It's no different, man. So whether the guy's supposed to go to work tomorrow, has been out drinking, he ties one on,
Yeah.
So.
Now, I guess that's one thing. Like last week was pretty much when the arrivals came. You said guys who got new money, you'd see them roll up. Do you have a specific and you've seen in the past like Antonio Brown coming in, like coming out of a parachuting down? Were there any like crazy arrivals that happened during your years in the NFL with the Chiefs or the Eagles? Like anyone that was like, oh crap, like he came in a race car or something like that?
No, I can't think of an arrival, somebody coming in that was crazy. I remember the year Priest came back, and I suggested, man, I would love to get Priest like one of the chariots, like with horses, and him just riding on the back of it, looking like a gladiator just coming in, like with a little football helmet and stuff. Somehow that was like my image in my head, like how he's going to be coming in, to practice, like looking at like the old gladiator, just ready to just do work. But other than that, man, I can't think of anybody. Like I don't remember seeing anything that was real crazy. Like what? Like this dude broke up in the tank.
Did TG Gonzalez ever have any crazy injuries? Like saying he's kind of a flashy guy, so I assume he'd have something. No, Gonzalez. I'm assuming he would have something kind of. He's a flashy guy, so.
Oh no, Tony, man, wasn't flashy at all, man. California, before all of this, like the TV and stuff now, that joke was totally different. Sandals, flip flops, you know what to get from him. T-shirt.
Wow.
He's cowabunga. That's how he was coming in. That was it. Basketball fit. He's a basketball guy. T-shirt, basketball shorts. Sneakers. He's coming to do work.
And this is another thing that I because all you guys are athletes. I mean, athletes. I talked to you and E about how many sports you guys played. I have to imagine, were there like pickup basketball games in between, like before practice, or are you guys too dog tired to like do pickup basketball or do any kind of that stuff?
Oh yeah, no. Guys pretty much tired during the summer. Training camp. That's Now OTAs and stuff. Yeah, all the time. You have a little pickup game. These guys every single day, but yeah, summer camp, no, everything's too close to to the real game, man, right. to put anything in jeopardy. But it was some great games. everybody always thought they was, the star of their high school and their area. Always wanted to show what they can do. So,
if you could make a dream team of the Chiefs basketball team, who would be the starting five?
Woo! Oh my gosh. Starting five, dream team. I'm gonna just exclude me. All right, I'm gonna just take myself out of it. All right, okay. But man, I'm just looking at ability. TG had to be one.
Wait, he'd be the five. He'd be the 5 or the 4 in the squad.
I put him at about the 4.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of the 5. And you got like kind of who else has some ability? B. Waters had ability too, man. He could shoot some hoops.
Really?
Yeah. B was like, slimmer before he got to the Chiefs and that he had to put weight on him. B, he can play some ball. Greg Wesley was good hoopster. Warfield, no doubt, just talented. I'm trying to think who else. Michael Ricks was another guy.
I feel like Johnny Morton was kind of would be a good one, or was he?
I never seen Johnny on the court. Yeah, no, never seen Johnny on the court. Trying to think who else was. There was a lot of guys who just go out there and just compete though. But I'm trying to think of somebody who might have just crossed somebody up. I can't think of anybody who just was just like real nice. Like, look, you ought to be playing in the NBA. As far as somebody like that. I mean, guys had ability,
right?
No doubt, but. Yeah, I didn't see Chris Paul's out there though. I don't know who's starting 5. That's what Greg Wesley, Warfield, TG, B. Waters, Will Shields can play.
Really?
Will can hoop. Yes, yeah, Will can hoop too. Now I was shocked. Will can hoop. He can hoop. Will's a good athlete as well. Good athlete. But now, man, all those guys, man, is athletic. I mean, when you playing at that level, man, guys are athletic. Yeah, it doesn't surprise you. A guy who might be, 6'6", 340 pounds, man, throwing it down, dunking backwards, like or short guard, 6'2", 324, yamming it, So right. None of those things shock you. So,
yeah. That's great. I mean, yeah, it's true. I mean, because you look at, a lot of these guys who come out now, you say, oh, he was all-state. LeBron's a good example of that. All-state basketball player, amazing receiver. All these guys, all these guys you see, coming out, and they're 3-sport athletes. So, yeah. I mean, it's just that, I guess, when you think about like Brian Waters. I mean, he was our big right guard, and then you see him. You say he's a good basketball player, and it's like, oh man, well, I could not imagine that. But then I remember Vince Wilfork was actually a pretty good basketball player as well, and you would think Vince Wilfork would be a good basketball player, but he could shoot it.
Yeah. I take my guys, let's say athletic, I take the tight ends, tight ends and some safeties, maybe some corners, as far as, being nice. Receivers too. So those receivers could play some hoop.
Would you guys play like 2-on-2 or 3-on-3, or would it be like, Man,
it'd be 21, just make it, take it, horse, 2-on-2, 3-on-3, but usually when you're doing the 21 game and guys are trying to jump over each other, slamming it, he's like, okay, man, we got real serious in here, so we gotta get this right. We gotta get this right.
Is there any footage of that stuff because you see these guys now playing basketball, there's footage of it all the time, but like, is there footage of you guys at your pickup games back in the day?
No.
That was good stuff right there, though.
It been great stuff. It's been great stuff, man. Yeah, we love doing it. We love doing it. So, yeah, everybody wanted to show what they could do. Who all had the bunnies who could shoot from outside. Then you always had the ball hogs who couldn't shoot, but you would shoot every chance they got. Like, man, you're not hitting. It's like, yeah, pass the ball to me. Like, no more. We can't pass the ball to you because you're gonna shoot. So yeah, man.
That's fantastic. Well, yeah, that's gonna be a clip that everyone's gonna love to see. The Chiefs, the Chiefs dream team for our if we had our USA basketball team for the Chiefs, that would be those guys right there. That's great. All right, well, that does it for us. The first week of training camps in the books. Thanks for tuning in to Chief Concerns, presented by BetOnline. As always, if anyone in Chiefs Kingdom has any concerns for these two guys, please tweet at us at @ConcernsChief or email us at chiefconcerns@yahoo.com. Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing what happens next week. I believe we have our first preseason game in 4 days, so we'll be able to discuss some of that before our next one. So
yeah, that'd be good.
All right, buddy.
We'll see what's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what our ones can do in the first couple series, but more so it's the reserve guys, the ones that we may have to rely upon during the year.
Yeah, it's going to be more like those guys. Patching them. He might not, tape. You come in from a couple, one or two, sit down, right?
Yeah.
You not even play it all. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, and with our offense, it might take us 3 plays and that little score, and that's it. Take a seat. But yeah, lots of things to look forward to in that. So we'll see you guys next week, and it's great having the guys back, and we're gonna be ready to go for training camp and preseason. We're ready, baby.
Ready. Good seeing you, brother.
Good seeing you too, buddy.